Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, let's get going. All right, cool. All right, so let's just jump right into it. So, Rhino bot, I will be testing today. In fact, our head of that department, Steve, messaged me yesterday, 2 a.m., and said, Anthony, it's ready for testing. I have it set up. Let's test it and see where we go from there. Now, when we say something's ready for testing, now, hey Terry, when we say something's ready for testing, the assumption is, well, the individual that said it already tested it, right? So Steve, who has coded the entire bot, I don't have the expectation would say, hey, it's ready for testing, having never tested it himself, right? So I fully believe, or at least I'm pleasantly optimistic that when I catch up with him today and we play with the bot, um, there shouldn't be too many things that we find out, right? So my expectation is I'll be able to engage with the bot. It'll know everything about Rhino Bucks. I'll be able to try to confuse it. It will go from one bot to the next and engage with me, talk with me, tell me some stuff I didn't even know about, the thing I'm trying to confuse him about. Like, oh, I love bologna sandwiches. Well, did you know the best bologna is in Papelona, right? Like, I have no idea. But then it'll bring me back, and then it'll convince me to purchase. And when I'm convinced, I'm like, okay, fine. How do I get started? Or where do I buy? What's next? It will walk me through a checkout sequence. That is my, I don't want to say expectations because that's like really, I'm, I'm a little reluctant to say that because that's like super duper duper. But that is my goal. That's what I'm praying for. That's what I'm crossing my fingers. You can't see my legs, but they are crossed as we speak. You can't see my toes, and I'd be lying to say if they're crossed. Why, Anthony? Why? Okay. So that will happen sometime today. In which case, if everything works out well, which it won't, I really don't think there's a chance that we're going to test it today and everything's gonna be like, wow, this just scored an A plus across the board. Let's put it out there. If it's a B plus or higher, I will put it out there because we will get some real time interaction with it via the people going to the web pages. But if it's under a B plus, we'll just hold it and at least get it there. I do have full expectations that if we're able to test today, we should be able to be an A plus next weekend. Because if you give me 7 days with a bot that just needs to be tested, I will spend 7 days talking to it about like the moon landing, right? Like we're going to get it. So that's good news. Our Twitter update. So we're ahead of schedule because we thought we were going to just start launching ads this weekend, but we started launching ads 2 days ago. We did $10 on two different campaigns, but then found out that one of the campaigns was really $100 because apparently we have fat fingers. We've since taken those two campaigns. One was for engagement and one was for conversions. We realized that the engagement one is just for engagement, which is fine, but that's like a later thing. We don't want engagement. We don't want people being like, okay, I like this, but then they walk away and they're like, what did I even like? Like, who is that? Nobody knows who Rhino is. We need to get them to know who Rhino is. And the way to do that is to get people to sign up for Rhino. The only way to do that is to have conversions, to get them to convert into Rhino, right? Yeah, no, Frida, you will not see my legs crossed. Um, so we deleted we shut off the engagement one, but not before we took the data that we accumulated. Like we accumulated a lot of data in terms of who's the person that's looking at our stuff. So we had taken that data and then we had our conversions, our $10 conversion one already, and then duplicated it out. So now we have three $10 conversion ones. The original one is the one that had all the original stuff, right? Like the first one. That becomes our placebo. Can we do better or do worse than that? The other two that we duplicated and made was by extracting the finest data points from what we've learned and inputting them. The only difference between those two was we then created different ad copy. The way we made that ad copy was by, after going through all the data and realizing those with these interests are our highest conversion, our most receptive users, and those with this behaviors are our highest receptive users, and those from these parts of these countries are our highest receptive users. Let's combine that all, and our original ad copy, which is what everyone clicks. So you can't really change that because then you throw off all the numbers, right? So if, for instance, we have 10% conversions on an ad copy that says, I love beer, and then we find out that like, I don't know, 400-pound men are the ones clicking it. And then we say, okay, 400-pound men really love what we're doing. Let's make a new ad copy that says, I love vegetables, and find the 400-pound men. That won't really work because you changed what they're clicking. But if you find out that all of those 400-pound men happen to love Budweiser, well, changing the ad copy to I love beer, especially Budweiser, now that is the same ad copy, but it's more dialed into who you're looking for. So I just want to share kind of that analogy, I guess. So what we did was all those that were interested, all the behaviors, all the states, we then took that and told our AI, do not change this ad copy further than 5% of what it is, but improve it via making it congruent and receptive to these individuals that have these interests and these behaviors. So in doing so, we then made those two duplicates and slightly changed it. So what we'll be doing today is further looking into it. Let's see, because we allowed Twitter to optimize on its own behalf. Meaning, if it found an opportunity where it's like, okay, I know you want these people, but like these people really like you too. You should check them out. It does have the freedom to market to them as well, which again, at this stage in the game, we want to learn all of this. What was really interesting, yeah, hey Deb, yeah, I tried, right? And I'm really having a lot of fun with this because again, it's easy, maybe not easy to say, but like when you don't have results and it's because you're building, it's one of two things. Either you're building, which is why you don't have results, or you don't have results and you're just saying it's because you're building, which both commentaries would look exactly the same until we then shifted and then said, okay, now we're ready to grow. And then the growth happens. Then you could look back and say, oh, he was telling the truth back there. But you wouldn't know that till now. Point being, hey, Renee, the point being, a lot of the fun that I'm having now is that I'm putting the exact same focus into what we're doing now. So now I'm able to say, okay, I get to be like micro, like this is my superpower. I love numbers. I love all these little statistics here and there. I love knowing that the 23-year-old girl at 2:04 p.m. that lives in California is going to click on like ice pops. I have no idea, but I like knowing that stuff. So we'll be redoing that again today and taking a look at who is revealing themselves to be even further who we want. Well, not who we want, but who wants us. Now, what's very interesting, I wonder if I have it. Let me see if I still have it up somewhere. Bear with me. I know you can see me. I'm not looking at you. Hold on, because is this it? I'm sorry, just bear with me for 1 second. I'm trying to see if I can find something that I would like to show you. And by the way, I need a new computer, so if somebody wants to just send me the new Mac, that would be cool. Am I asking so much to open up a document? Okay, never mind. Apparently it doesn't want to open. I'll get to it though. What was really cool about it yesterday was that when we had the opportunity to see who's most receptive, what interests they have, you saw that the top 10 all had political interest, which is cool. Like a lot of the stuff that we talk about is premised on failed leaders that are progressively taking control over institutions by less credible ways, right? Like in the 1940s, when a president came out and said something, he had a certain decorum for the office, and you could kind of believe him. And if he didn't do it, he was held to account. Today, it's not that. It's like the opposite. They can say whatever they want. It doesn't matter. Nobody holds anyone to account anymore. Um, so there is an underbelly of those that are kind of just getting frustrated with that, and I think we embody that pretty well. And it's not that I come out here and give campaign speeches, but I think a lot of it is representative in the stuff that we share and the stuff that we all believe together. So what we found was unequivocally, objectively, those that were following us or those that were clicking were people that were interested in local politics or campaigns or politics or it was all of those. And then it was weird. Then like number 11 was like college football. But the first 10 were all of those people. So I was like, wow, this is this is kind of getting close. And then all those people were also of the 35 plus. So we had the most receptive was 50 plus. The second most receptive was like, I think it was like 18 to 24. The third most receptive was 35 to 50. And the fourth most receptive was like 13 to 18, which we're not marketing to 13-year-olds. Like, not interested. And let me take that back. Not that I'm not interested, but I think you have to be really well established before you start talking to children. And we love children and like we want to steward them, but not while we're still figuring things out. So what I did was, all right, well, let's change our age demographic to 35 plus. And then in which case you were able to find out that those people were interested in retirement and fear for where their retirement money is going and blah, blah, blah. So we then took that and then optimized our landing page to go ahead and be receptive to that. Because if you remember yesterday, it was very like, this is what we're going to do. Well, I wanted to, and I was able to change that freely because again, the ad copy you don't want to change because the data is the people that are clicking that ad copy. But we didn't have any purchases. Nobody came to the website and said, okay, I want this. Therefore, we had a little bit of freedom how we could change it. So we changed the ad copy on the website to, or the copy on the website to be representative of the ad copy, because if the ad copy is representative of who's clicking us, we want to have a nice even stream. Like we want it to all sound the same. And what happened was something quite cool. So 2 days ago, we had no sales. Yesterday, we had one. We spent $30 and we got one new $25 a week Rhino. Now, $30 is more than 25, so net we lost $5. But that $25 Rhino, what's the retention level of people that joined Rhino? Well, it's very long. So is it true to say that we believe that that $25 Rhino will at least stay for 2 weeks? Well, we think so. And if that's the case, now Rhino made $20, right? Rhino then, what's that? Plus 66% return on investment by just doing something on the second day. Do we believe that the third day, fourth day, and fifth day will be better? Yeah, of course, because we're constantly going to optimize that data. So that's just where we are with Twitter. I want this weekend to be a big success, but I also believe that we're on such a good path, it'd be silly to kind of just like kick it in the butt. So what I would like to do today is, of those three campaigns we have, I want to select the two best. We'll shut off the one that's lagging behind. We'll then duplicate the two we have and create five. We'll take all the data and make each one as best as it could be. We'll change the ad copy some more. So we'll have five $10 campaigns going today. The goal being that tomorrow, if we see like 1%, 2% conversions, which is really big, right? Like we're at like 0.4%. So if you could get to 2%, you're really doing well. If we can find two or three of them, they're at that level, then let's put $20 to each one of them, see which one the winner is, and just constantly do that. So the goal being that by the end of next weekend, we have, say, 3 different winner chicken dinners, each with $30 a day. Yeah, no, Deborah, you're absolutely right. Each with, say, $30 a day, and we're running $90 a day in ad spend, and we're growing 5, 10, 15 new rhinos a day. When you get to that point, now it's just rinse and repeat, just reinvest, reinvest, reinvest. Where you turn 10 into 15 to 20 to 30 to 50 to 100. And remember, I also know with our time together what the components of Rhino that are exciting to people. So, of course, us having these conversations is a good thing because everyone gets to keep up. Of course, the emails are a good thing, it keeps you updated. But price does matter. Like, people do care to see that price going higher. So if we have all these new rhinos coming in and all this new income coming in, and the retention level, which we know is 80 to 86%, what we can then calculate is all new money coming in will not be going out for at least the first 4 weeks that the individual is in. Meaning we can take a certain portion of that money, say higher allocation than we normally would have, and put it into the coin price. That coin price going higher will actually further increase the retention level here, decrease the selling behavior, which then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy to keep going, going, going. When we can get that price to like $5, $6, $7, which the goal is the reasonable goal is 10 at the end of the year. If it catches fire and we just take off, well, I would love 100. But my reasonable goals this year is to return all investor coin by mid to late summer and to have that coin still, even after that, be worth $10 by December. If we can do that and all investors have like 1,000,000 coin here, 2,000,000 coin there, and they're able to monetize it for $5, $6, $7 and the coin holds, that would just be the coolest thing. I mean, that would be like, you did it. So that's where we're at with that stuff. What else? What else? Speaking of the coin, and then I'm going to go after this because I think we've touched on all points. We are at a new all-time high in liquidity today. I believe we're over 107,000. Actually, let's just take a look, right? Why not? Okay, so where are we? Well, actually, let's pull out the sheet because that's kind of tells us everything we need to know. Okay. So when we take a look at today, so yesterday 107,091, so today's 107,260. You just saw 107.3, so these numbers are always accurate, of course. But we've never been this high. Take a look back. This is the liquidity pool. And again, the liquidity pool is how much Rhino is actually worth. This is all the money that's in Rhino. And as you can see, all-time high. So what's really quite cool is regardless of where we are today, and regardless of how it's obvious that all of the good stuff is still ahead of us, we're currently at an all-time high. We're at an all-time high with everything good still ahead of us, which I can't stress enough is such a compliment to everything we've done. And when I say we, I don't mean me. I mean we collectively. Everyone does move in the same direction. And there is a certain level of trust that everyone has to kind of like silently have with each other, in the sense that, okay, I'm not selling, you're not selling, like we're all in this together. We're looking to get to that because if we want to get to there, we kind of all have to stay united during these building periods. And when it gets large enough, we'll go ahead and monetize a little bit. And I say that because the case study that we did, the 95-day case study, when I asked the question, when are you planning on selling Rhino? The most common answer was, not anytime soon. I'll wait for when the market matures. The second most common answer was when it gets to $100, right? So when you take a look at the two common answers, it's not, everyone could do whatever they want. Like I don't have control over any one person. But everyone collectively has shared and absorbed the same zeitgeist that we know what we're doing. We know what we're here for. When the time comes that we can go ahead and cash in a little bit, yeah. But we're going to wait till that time. And that's, you can't force that. It just happens. It's like during the NFL combines where they see which player could jump the highest and which player could run the fastest and whatnot. The player that could run the fastest always gets chosen in the first round, even if the person can't catch. You know why? Because coaches are like, I could teach him to catch. I can't teach him to run fast, right? Like you can't teach someone to run fast, but you can teach them to catch. And that's what Rhino has. I can't force everyone to share the same goals and same vision. But if they do, we could teach you to catch, right? How many total members now? 510. Terry. Yeah, I think it's 510. Yeah, so we jumped from 350 to 515 in a month, which was really cool. We've taken a little pause on that because we're doing the Twitter thing, and we're still adding 1,000 to 2,000 new emails into our outgoing emails every day. So I don't want those emails to be too aggressive because, again, I mean, I think the definition of that is spam, right? Like, I'll always disagree. I think there is a way to introduce yourself without spamming someone, even if you're emailing them for the first time. And in doing so, I want to be, hey, we're Rhino, just letting you know, we're here to bop, bop, bop. Not like, okay, you need to do this right now, or else I'm going to take your hand and hit you in the head with it. And I watch Frozen with our kids all the time. And Sven, when he meets Olaf and takes his arm and it hits him. Anyway, love everyone. I will see everyone tomorrow, 10 a.m., and I'll see Prompt Engineering tomorrow, 3 p.m. Tomorrow, 3 p.m., we're going to teach the Twitter automations that we completed for ourselves. In doing so, we're also going to create a program for it so that we could do the $1 a week sales for anyone that wants to get into that. Point being, if you're in prompt engineering, you're going to get it for free tomorrow. Well, I guess you're not. You're going to get it you'll get it without having to join the other platform. Okay. Anyway, love, love, love. Oh, and for those that are in Rhino Wealth, I just want to show you something. I stink. I know. So we were waiting on this Occidental, and yesterday we were talking about how it was a 19 red and green. And this was red and green when we were speaking about it. And the thing was $56. And I was like, give me just one more day, one more day. When it's a 20, just don't run up. And then look. So obviously that kind of passed us. But to go from $56 to 58.5 in 24 hours, those that trade options, no, that was 100% overnight. We did send out the email and did say, we usually don't share research that 19 red and green is a go, but this one, if you did it, we understand. Like, we totally, totally would support it. So there were some that did, and they did well. Okay, that's it. That's it. All right, love everyone, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, and hopefully have really, really good updates on RhinoBot. Okay, bye.